Hey everyone, welcome to a very special finale episode of Yappie Hour! Yay! We got the whole cast, well, part of the cast.
Most of them.
Our favorite
the
ones.
cast that matters.
The cast that matters. We just didn't have enough chairs, that's what it was.
Right.
But we're so glad that you guys can make the time to come back. We wanted to bring everyone back to basically celebrate the finale, talk about, episode 5, and just kind of reflect on the whole series in general. We've been seeing so many great comments and feedback that, we just wanted to hang out one more time. Why don't we go down the line and just have it, all you guys reintroduce yourselves and your characters in the series.
I'm Brandon, and I play Richard, who is Phil's cousin, and I'm the avid K-pop fan.
Yeah. So don't you see the resemblance?
Yeah, I actually see it.
Hi, I'm Victoria. I play Jessica, who is in the group of friends because of this guy who I'm dating.
Yeah.
In the show.
We're dating in the show.
Yeah, in the show.
She's getting my hopes up. No, I'm Brad. I play Brett, or as on set, I was named Brett Brad.
It was a huge stretch from Brad to Brett. Yeah.
I am Julie, and I play Phil's annoying little sister Melody because I know more than he does.
Oh.
That's right.
Hello, I am Janine. I play Kalina in Yappie. I am the dancer / love interest to Andrew.
You're your own person.
I'm my own person, yeah. You don't define me.
And then we have...
Oh, hi. Hi. Just kidding. I'm Philip, and I played Andrew, the oaf that's stumbling through this life with his wonderful friends that he's learning from. Very lucky to have gotten to work with everyone here.
Such a talented group of people.
Obviously,
also
Taylor.
the director and writer of Yappie, alongside me, Taylor.
In case you guys didn't know, alongside me, Taylor.
Yeah. All right. There's a lot of feedback about episode 5. I was wondering how you guys felt about the feedback.
Of the finale, it's a lot, you guys read the comments. What were you guys' knee-jerk first reactions?
Hate cliffhanger ending.
So true. Yeah, I mean, we got such good feedback about people wanting season 2, which is good. I'm gonna put my vote in for that too.
We like that.
We like season 2.
Yeah.
Because then we can see each other again.
Yeah.
I know.
And it was cool. Like, I didn't realize how many people resonated with the family scene at the end, but everybody was like, oh my God, that hit me so hard.
Yeah. It's funny, like, that episode actually covered a lot of topics.
Yeah.
But yeah, like, people kind of just, really gravitated towards certain ones. So, I mean, just start things off. At the top of the episode, we had this conversation about, like, cliques, right? And how, like, Andrew, with his Asian bubble and his group of friends, feeling like, should we feel bad that we hang out with only Asians? Because, everyone else seems to have, like, their own cliques of the same, background or ethnicity. In your own personal lives, do you guys have your own cliques, or is it a pretty... I'll admit first, I have mostly Asian friends.
We know Phil.
Yeah, we know that.
I think cliques are super natural things to occur, though, because, people that have similar upbringings, similar interests, their families were similar, and I feel like if you understand each other at, like, that kind of level, then it's pretty easy to, like, fall into those same friend groups. Right. So it's fair. I have a lot of Asian friends too.
Okay.
I'm sure geography has to do something with that.
Yeah.
Right, like Victoria, you actually did grow up in the Midwest.
Yes.
Not Oklahoma,
I did.
like your
No,
character, but
Illinois,
yeah.
though, which is pretty much the same.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know, because I was going to say that. I mean, geography has a huge play in that. And
Right.
I have friends of all different ethnicities, but I think, like, after I moved to California, I definitely started getting more Asian friends, which you guys are a part of. And now all my friends back home are like, why do you have so many Asian friends now?
Why? What's wrong with that? Show them that scene. Like the token app, we should actually invent. There was actually a comment. There was a comment that was like, so are you guys serious about that? Because I can help make that for you.
Oh my God.
And
$1 million.
Problematic in its own way.
What about you, Janina? Because you grew up biracial, so I'm sure like you had to deal with different friend groups as well.
Yeah, being in Gardena, there are predominantly, or the South Bay in general, there's predominantly an Asian community there, Japanese and Korean. Most of my friends are Asian, of different Asian ethnicities, and it wasn't until college I got more Black friends, and My black friends are like the typical black girls who are like super, I mean, not saying they're not dolled up, but you know, they're not like thotty black girls, you know, they're like.
You're using words I don't know right now.
No, we all know.
Thotties,
We all know what we're talking about, you know.
It's not what I thought.
Thotty.
My girls ain't the thoughts. They're like the nerdy black girls who, you know.
Issa Rae's.
Issa Rae's, totally Issa Rae's, totally the ones that would probably picket for Black Lives Matter, stuff like that.
So you have a mix now.
Oh, and a lot of Latina friends. I had the thin eyebrows and everything. Those
You were a
my
very
friends.
confused kid growing up.
I was I should debut
I
those.
did that. I was in 4 quinceañeras.
Oh my
Same
God.
Oh,
thing.
like that's such great
Yeah.
pronunciation.
Oh, quinceañeras.
You grew. I mean, you immigrated here. Actually, everyone's background here is kind of crazy. Like it's all like you have SGV, you know, mixed race, Midwest, white.
Pretty crazy. Pretty crazy, yeah. I'm a little outside the box. Okay.
Wisconsin though is kind of.
The whitest place. No, I'm just as white as you can be. Yeah.
But yeah, so yeah, you moved here as a kid, right?
Yeah, and like being from China, when I first got here, I thought, I mean, I was like so Asian that I needed to not be so Asian. So I actually tried to be white in elementary school. Then I tried to be black in middle school, and I like had the Air Jordans, the hoop earrings. I learned to sea walk, and then high school was like all the quinceañeras, and it wasn't until college that I had Asian American friends.
Yeah.
So now all my friends are Asian.
I think like this is just really interesting, just because I think Asian Americans, a lot of us, you know, we didn't really have our own culture here in America because either our parents just got here, like there aren't that many generations here to establish that. We kind of like we're looking for other people's cultures, and we kind of lean into one or the other, right? So I think even Andrew, like listening to like, you know, Aaliyah, you know, and on his music video tape, like that was my like upbringing too. I was like, I have no culture here, but I really like this dancing. That's really cool. So I feel like even I got more into like the hip hop culture too, like in high school as well. So I totally understand what you're saying. Another really big topic that was kind of like probably the main focus of episode 5 was the whole confrontation with Russ. And that was something that, you know, when we were approaching the writing, like we knew that it was going to be a heavy topic.
Yeah, we knew that we needed to tackle it too, because so much of this series was revolving around the model minority concept, and like you can't tackle it without discussing anti-blackness too, and like that duality between the two communities, and we want to make sure we were handling it very sensitively. But
Yeah, Wong Fu also has never even ventured into. Actually, this whole series, we ventured into like a lot of topics that we never felt that we had the right to, or maybe we were afraid to, but we kind of just went for it with this series. And so episode 5 was definitely like the climax. And yeah, I mean, when we first wrote, obviously, you know, we're 2 Asian American dudes, and we're like, hey, we have to talk about this. This is a real thing, that there's this divide. So how do we best approach it? And so we actually worked with Janine, and even the actors that came into audition, you know, we asked them and workshop with them, you know, how would you guys change the scene, or what's the best way to pick this? And it was actually really amazing. Like a lot of people, even the people that were auditioning, were like, no one talks about this. So this is really, really cool.
Can I just say that I really appreciate y'all's humility and the way, like, even coming into the table read when you were talking to all of us as actors, but then especially the actors in that scene, and asking, like, is this how you would talk? Is this actually, like, I'm really struck by that, because I don't find that very often. So I really
Thanks. And I think that comes from having a marginalized voice already, like in the media. Like when I see misrepresentation of Asian people on TV shows and movies, I'm like, was there not one Asian person in the room, or did no one ask, is this okay?
Probably not.
Right? So, right? So I feel like if we're in a place of control, then we should probably extend that courtesy that we wish we were getting out there in the world, right? So that was definitely, like, even when we were shooting on set, like I even went out to the extras and was like, guys, we're gonna be saying some kind of racist stuff on set. If anyone's uncomfortable, talk to me, you know. So
It was brave. It was brave, and I'm glad you guys did it. And I think the feedback is saying that as well, because we do need these conversations to be out there, and that's the start. So hopefully people can start, if you're an Asian American, looking within ourselves to think, oh my gosh, am I passively contributing to the issue, and then on the other side, hopefully non-Asian Americans can look at us and think, oh, we're a part of this community.
And we're going through struggles too,
Yeah.
right? Like a big motivation of that scene, like, you know, I think I saw some feedback that was like, oh, you know, like, why are Asians trying to make excuses for other people or whatever? But actually, a huge motivation came from, you know, sometimes, you know, on social media or even like on the stage of the Oscars, seeing diversity only being talked about between black and white, and still making jokes at Asian people's expenses. And it's like, man, like we're not even part of the conversation. Like, you think that we're fine? But I'm also really glad that we got to address it, you know, in what I believe is inaccurate, and a large part thanks to, like, you know, Janine's help and your friends. Like, you actually, like, I gave you the script very early to say, hey, mark this up. Like, we can change all of this.
Yeah, and a lot of them, I mean, I love the scene. I love that you guys put a voice to it, put someone to be able to talk about what is going on in the black community and making it more aware to the Asian community as well, you know, of things that do divide us, and do we care, and, you know, like you were saying, like, not be so passive about it. And I appreciate that you let, like, my family and friends read it. I gave it
They tore it apart at first.
They did. Yeah. They were just like, well, what about that? Even like the most smallest, when you're like, oh, she's black.
Oh, right. When it's like episode 4 or something, when I was like, oh, like when I was first telling you in the glasses store that this is the line, she's black. Like, they were worried that even the way
How
I was,
you gonna say
it?
she's black. And then, like, she's Japanese too. They were even wondering, like, I mean, you know, because there is so much hate between a lot of ethnicities, and I feel like the black community just feels like they have a lot of issues with beauty, image, and all that stuff. So I think that was one thing that my cousins were wondering, like, are you making it seem like she's not a catch because she's black, but she is because she's half Asian.
Right. Oh,
so, you know, like you know, they were wondering how was that going to be weighed, and
we did so many takes of that line actually because of that.
She's black.
I literally did I literally did 10 different takes just of different varying emotions.
Because I'm sure like the tone could completely change how it sounds.
We just wanted to be on the editing table to like have options, you know, to be like. So yeah, even when we finally casted Michael, who played Russ, you know, we definitely spent a lot of time to be like, you know, to ask him and make sure that he felt comfortable with the things that he was gonna say that were, because his character says some really racist stuff, right? And I think the way that we were approaching it in terms of, like, you know, the sequence of events was that obviously he's jealous of a new boyfriend in general. Like, regardless of what race I am, he's just a petty, jealous guy. And the lowest hanging fruit that he could throw an insult to me is what he sees, right? So that's why he goes straight to a racist, you know, insult. But then, like, my response is I think what a lot of, you know, I think even Asian people feel, it's like, why aren't we allowed to be offended sometimes? Because there are a lot of issues that we should be offended about in the real world, right?
I hear that a lot from ignorant people. When you were saying that, you know, they tie in Asians with whites. I've heard that from so many ignorant people my whole life. If you ain't black, you white. And, you know, it sucks because that's not true. Everybody has their own struggles. I mean, and like they were saying in the first episode, we're not trying to play oppression Olympics.
Right. And ultimately, like, we definitely, like, took a very surface approach, I think, to you can get a lot deeper into that issue. And but ultimately the goal of bringing it up and the episode in general is just to start a conversation, right? Because I think a lot of people don't even think about it.
So another big topic for episode 5 was that last dinner scene with the family, with the parents, which actually was played by your mom.
Her actual mom. So she was the actual daughter.
I did not have to act at all. But that was my mom's first acting gig.
She did amazing.
Wow.
That dinner scene definitely left a huge cliffhanger for the series as well. And a lot of people resonated with that scene. I wonder if any of you guys like have related to that experience.
My mom's actually like really woke in real life. Like, she had to play, you know, a very conservative mom, but in real life, I think I've always feared bringing a boy to her most of my life. But yeah, ironically, she's never ever had a problem with race at all. So,
oh wow, that's good.
I'm an exception to the rule, but I've heard from all the comments and people that have watched it, like, how much it resonated with them.
I'm like afraid to put my parents on blast right now.
Right.
but looking at the comments, it looks like many people can relate. Right. And the thing is, like, it's tough because it's a cultural gap, you know, like that. I think us having the privilege of growing up in America, we're like, yeah, like we should all love each other. We should, you know, what's the big deal? They grew up in a very different time, in a very different place, right? So, I mean, at least Andrew's family with immigrant parents, right? So it's a very real issue, like I think in a lot of like first generation like families for sure.
Is language, I think, one of the biggest things they want to be able to communicate with the other family?
I think so.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, how are our families going to talk to each other? How are we going to like communicate during the dinner table and stuff like that?
Right. And I always hear people say like, oh, but you're not marrying. I mean, I've heard both. Like, you're not marrying the parents. You're marrying your wife or your husband. But I'm like, no, you're definitely bringing in the family, right? Yeah. So I can see why that like weighs heavy on, you know, the parents of expanding the family to people that they're not familiar with. Especially if you're immigrants and you've never seen or hung out with anyone else outside, you know, your own race.
Yeah, when I saw that last scene with your mom and you guys, I mean, it totally reminded me of my own parents. Just them getting married and their whole trials and tribulations with my dad's family. Unfortunately, my grandma being first gen, she was not for it at all. I mean, white is okay. That was always the thing. Right. If you were to date outside of your race, but black was like heartbreaking. Unfortunately, she didn't come to the wedding, but yeah.
But years later now.
Once they had me, 9 months later, more like.
Look, you bring families together. Look at this,
Yeah.
There was actually another little topic that I kind of snuck in there that I saw a few comments they caught onto it, but like the issue of like Asian daughters being compared to Asian sons and how like you guys are kind of like devalued a little bit in their eyes and that's obviously like a broad. I mean, that's not all Asian, Chinese, whatever people like, but like definitely, I think in Eastern culture there is like this feeling of like the boys are a little bit more valuable or more important, I should say. I think like Melody's character though, like we can see a hint of like you're not taking it, you know. So maybe that's something that would be explored in season 2, which is the whole reason for the cliffhanger. Just
yeah, we definitely want to explore that side of the story with the family and your relationship now. So cross your fingers, guys.
Episode 5, just had so much going on, and ultimately, like all these episodes, there are so many things that we want to talk about. We could just like touch on each one, and that's why we definitely hope we can do more episodes, because we acknowledge that we, only cover just a handful of issues. We only, showed certain types of backgrounds and even types of Asians. So there's a lot more that can be done, and we hope that if you guys want it, then we can come back, for another season.
But looking back at the episodes we do have, I was wondering if you guys had any like favorite moments from the series.
To me, the sequence, and I know I'm in it, but the sequence,
all the stuff I was in.
No, but the sequence where you're cutting in between our dinner that we're having,
in episode 4,
and then you with Jacob's character. People like that, where there's these two things and it's rising. It like reminded me of like the end of Return of the Jedi. It's the most exciting part of Return of the Jedi, because you're intercutting between these things, and it was all like funny and like kind of romantic, and so that I love that. And then the other thing is just episode 3, like the meeting of all the Asians.
Oh yeah.
Because
in that one.
I mean, I like, as a white guy, I didn't know any of this, and when we did the table read, I was just like, oh my god, like I feel like white people need to know about this, just to have a better understanding. So
that episode in general, I think, was really important because fragmentation is such a huge issue that not a lot of people know about outside of the Asian community. And then also, when people first saw the promo, they thought it was just going to be, just this one type of Asian. So I'm glad people knew that we were aware that there's other types.
Yeah. It kind of like, it was like the midpoint of the series too. So it kind of was at the part that the story kind of expanded a little bit beyond Andrew's story. So I think that was a nice surprise for people too.
I really liked the entirety of episode 5, just because of all the different topics in it. One of my favorite scenes was with Dante's character. I just loved having, like, even within this small, like, community and this, like, small, like, party, there's all these, like, differing opinions. And then the conversation that you guys have afterwards, where she's talking about, we just need to listen to each other, and, like, everything that she's saying in that, I was like, yes, this is so great. And then it goes to the family scene and, like, feeling that, like, personally, and it was just, like, such a good. And then the cliffhanger ending, I mean, it's all good. It's all feels.
I really like the scene with Julie and Jacob as well.
I was hoping that you were gonna say that your favorite scene was when you were watching K-pop.
I really like that too.
Because that's actually one of my favorites.
That was the funnest to film.
Yeah.
I would say, like, just getting your reaction every take from all these different angles.
That was a lot of fun to shoot.
Yeah, people were very mad about that scene too. It's like, your grandma's there, man.
Oh yeah, your comments like
Your grandma's in the house.
Say, hey man, like puberty.
Yeah, the plan doesn't always work out perfectly.
And also like knock.
Simu's not here, but I'm actually gonna call Simu right now. Because I think he's available.
Oh, you're FaceTiming him.
I'm gonna FaceTime him.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, you got that international
Miss him so
plan?
much.
Maybe answer. I told you.
Does he know we're doing
Oh,
this?
connecting. Simu,
Hey, you guys,
we miss you.
how's it going?
It's going good.
We miss you. We love you.
So we're doing a little recap of the whole season together, and just wanted to ask, what was your favorite scene or moment from the series?
Oh, my favorite scene or moment. Okay, so I would say that my favorite sequence in general is in episode 3. Pretty much all of episode 3 actually. When your character goes around and unites all of the different Asian factions, I just think not only is it super reflective of what how fragmented our society actually is, but it's so poignant in the mentality that we need to have in order to have one unified voice, right? Together we're super strong, but if we split off into the dozens and dozens and dozens of different ethnicities or whatever factions that we want, nobody's gonna be big enough to really make a ripple. So
Yeah.
I found that really, really awesome.
Simu, I appreciate that your favorite scene or episode is the one that you're not even in. That
So humble.
says a lot. You're so
I thought it was the gym scene.
Yeah, are you sure it wasn't the abs scene?
Yeah, that was my other favorite. I
thought
nipple
Brad was
scene.
gonna say the ab scene, so
That's what we did. You guys are perfect. It wasn't the pull-up scene that we made you do 20 pull-ups and your hands were
my God.
bleeding.
yeah, all those weights were 100% real. And we're like, oh yeah, no, we can do 30 pounders, no problem, right? And then by take 12, we're totally.
Well, yeah, because on camera we don't want it to look like we're not doing 30 pounders, but then when you had to do 10 takes.
I was actually going to ask how many takes you did.
Oh my god.
It was also competitive between the two of you.
Oh, you put it down first. Well, hey, you look great over there. I like how you have a little bit of Kim's Convenience in the background there.
Yeah, plug.
Nice.
Just a little blood.
Conveniently positioned behind me.
I know, yeah. So congrats to Simu. You have Kim's Convenience coming out internationally on Netflix now.
Season 3 in production.
And you're shooting season 3 right now. So congrats, man. Glad you could FaceTime for a second.
Yeah, maybe Yappie season 2 afterward.
Yeah. Awesome, man. All right, we'll see you in Toronto.
See you real soon, man.
Yeah.
See you.
Later, man. See you.
I miss you.
She looks great right now.
He's such a good guy.
Why is lighting always good on his face?
What's Simu's skincare routine?
Seriously.
He's like all of our boyfriend who's been shipped off to war. And we all miss him so much.
Unfortunately, that's all the time we have for this after show. But like you said, we really want to continue the story with these characters.
We had so much fun working with you guys, and I'm just very grateful because this idea is years old. I remember when I first brought it up to you, I wish we could make an Asian Friends. This was years ago, and then finally wrote a script in 2016, and then finally got to shop it around, and then felt a little discouraged, and then decided together with the Wongfu team we're gonna do it, and then to see that it's out and done. And it's just an amazing feeling. So I just want to say thanks for helping us bring it to life and believing in it. Yeah, I really, really appreciate
You guys really have been the best support group for this, and it was a huge risk for our company. But you guys always brought the best energy through all the releases and all the promo too. You guys have always been by our side.
Yeah,
so really,
super,
really grateful.
Yeah, super enthusiastic, and I'm sure everyone out there watching loved you guys as well. And I hope it even introduced you guys to some new faces. Definitely follow them, and they're all super talented, and we're rooting for them in everything that they do. So just thank you guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks for having us.
It was so fun.
So much. This is I speaking for all of us, like an actor's dream to be able
Absolutely.
to work with their homies,
Yeah.
telling good stories and collaborate through it.
Yeah.
And we don't get to do that all the time. So thank you.
Yeah.
Well, obviously, you know, we want to keep this going, and the fans too. We see all your comments. We read all of them. We see all the tweets and everything. So appreciative of the enthusiasm for a second season. We're going to do everything we can to make that happen. But for now, that's season 1. Thank you, Taylor. Thank you, Wong Fu. Thank you, guys.
Behind the cameras.
And thank you guys for watching and supporting these last 5-6 weeks.
Yeah, we coming back weekly, binging from the beginning. We're being a care holder. You guys made this happen. And the most exciting thing is that it doesn't have to end here. We're actually going on tour. And we're taking Yappie on the road. We're gonna watch all 5 episodes together, have Q&As, do meet and greets. All the information's gonna be down below, but we're going all across the continent. Just us.
We want to go
Not
too.
us.
We're gonna just meet you there.
FaceTime.
Yeah.
We'll
Yeah.
FaceTime the whole
Zoom in on
way.
that.
But yes, tickets are on sale right now, and we're really excited to kind of bring Yappie to you guys because this was made for y'all.
Tell your friends and check if it's in your city.
Be sure to subscribe so you don't miss a potential season 2. And for now, that's it. See you later, guys.
That's a wrappie!
Bye, guys.